You are watching an AI agent edit a real project. It reads a file, changes code, runs a command, sees an error, fixes the error, and then tells you it is done. For a moment, it feels like magic. Then the uncomfortable question appears. If this goes wrong, what exactly happened? That is the moment this course begins. This is lesson 01 in the Claude Code Production Agent course. Most AI agents are just this 5-line loop. If you are new here, subscribe now because each video builds one layer of the same practical system, how to understand, design, and govern AI agents that touch real work. This is lesson 01 of the series. We are starting with the smallest useful mental model, the agent loop. The promise is simple. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what an AI agent is doing in plain English, separate the model from the runtime, and stop treating agent behavior as a black box. Because this is the first lesson, there is no previous episode to recap. Instead, this is the foundation we will repeat throughout the series. Every later lesson comes back to this. The agent does not act by magic, it works through a loop. The pain point is that people often describe agents with words like autonomous, intelligent, or magical. Those words are exciting, but they are not operational. You cannot debug magic. You cannot audit magic. You cannot put magic through change control. The useful version is smaller and more practical. An agent loop looks like this. Build context. Ask the model what to do. Run an approved tool call, add the result back into the transcript. Repeat until the task is complete. That is it. Context, model, tool, result, transcript, repeat. If you remember one sentence from this video, remember this. Do not design around the answer. Design around the loop that produced the answer. Imagine a junior colleague with a notebook, a set of approved tools, and a manager watching the work. The notebook is the transcript. The tools are file reads, edits, commands, searches, APIs, and integrations. The manager is the orchestration layer, permissions, hooks, approvals, logs, and stop conditions. The colleague may be talented, but talent is not the whole system. The system is the loop plus the controls around the loop. That is how we should think about Claude Code. The visible artifact for this lesson is the agent loop card. Context, what the model can currently see. Decision, what the model proposes. Tool, what action the runtime allows. Result, what comes back. Transcript, what gets remembered for the next turn. Stop condition, how we know the task is done. Now make it concrete. A naive compliance screening agent receives a customer name and immediately produces a risk summary. It looks efficient, but it is hard to trust. What did it check? Which sources did it use? Did it confuse two similar names? Did it record evidence? Could an auditor reconstruct the work? A loop-aware workflow is different. The agent starts with the request. It reads the screening policy. It queries approved sources. It records each result. It compares identifiers. It asks for review when confidence is low. It writes an evidence trail. The answer may look similar on the surface, but the second workflow can be inspected, improved, and governed. The common mistake is thinking production quality lives in the prompt. Prompt quality matters, but production quality lives in the whole loop: context, tools, permissions, hooks, review points, evals, logs, and the stop condition. A strong model inside a weak loop is still a risky system. A weaker model inside a well-governed loop can often be safer, easier to debug, and easier to improve. Let us recap lesson 1. First, most AI agents are loops, not magic boxes. Second, state lives outside the model, in context, transcripts, files, tools, and external systems. Third, production quality comes from the controls around each turn. The core rule again, do not design around the answer, design around the loop that produced the answer. The lesson learned is this: serious AI work begins when you stop being impressed by the answer and start inspecting the system that created it. If you understand the loop, the rest of Claude Code becomes much easier to reason about. If this practical way of explaining AI agents is useful, subscribe to the channel now. In Lesson 2, we look at what Claude Code actually is in 2026 because it is not just an IDE coding assistant. It is a set of surfaces for running the agent loop in different parts of your workflow.